What's up, everybody? It's your boy Duval here. 100 hidden details in GTA 6 Trailer 2. Let's get it.
This is 100 plus details you might have missed from GTA 6 Trailer 2. First, unlike Trailer 1, Rockstar actually provided some context for the story, which says, Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them, but when an easy score goes wrong, they find themselves on the darkest side of the sunniest place in America. In the
I've heard this
middle of a
synopsis
criminal
already.
Conspiracy stretching across the state of Leonida, forced to rely
Leonida.
on each other more than ever if they want to make it out alive. So we know that they are partners, clearly. They've had a score that's gone wrong, and they are now stuck in the middle of some sort of criminal conspiracy.
Yes.
So with that, we now have the context to start with the trailer. This first shot takes place in the Leonida Keys, which is a real-life hotspot for drug trafficking, which we will get into later. Here is where we get
Where
our
it comes
first
on
look
to
at
Miami,
Jason's
cocaine
personal
is
vehicle or Jason's truck, and also
inevitable.
a new animal,
That's
an iguana,
what
can be
Miami's
seen
known
right
for
underneath
drugs.
his porch. Here we meet Brian. Judging from the fact that the Florida Keys is a hotspot for drug trafficking,
He's probably been
like I
doing this for
said,
at least
this
20,
matches
30
with
years.
Jason's story, as he is living on
At
a
least
property
20.
of Brian's rent-free, which is implied when Brian says,
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
which most likely means that Jason is helping Brian with his
Oh,
work
definitely, yeah.
in exchange for staying at that
That's
property.
a good deal
Brian
to
was
me,
once again
honestly.
also shown in some of the artwork that Rockstar released, so undoubtedly
Honestly, if
he
I
will
were
be a
Jason, I
big
would be
part
working
of
for
the
Brian,
story.
even though it's illegal. Oh my god, more ads. I'd be working for Brian for
There
sure.
can be a ton of reasons for not.
A large container ship moving
And like,
in the
I'd
background
like to
can
get
be
into the
seen,
business with
and
him.
also Jason's first line
Because they're
in the
already
trailer
deep in
is,
crime, they might as well just like get the drug money.
could be a really funny reference to the September 2020.
It definitely is,
and there is some
100%.
more evidence for this. In the next scene, a raccoon can be found going through
I
a
did not
garbage
notice
bin
that
in the background,
at all.
and this is almost identical to one of the leaked clips. A 1950s car can be seen in rough condition on Jason's property and even has dirt piled on top of it from sitting so long, and this could be something to do with the Wyman's car parts that were found in the leaks as well. In this scene, Jason says,
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
People were
implying
saying
they
that
have
split
more
second
of a
there as he
relationship
transitions
than
to the
just
door is
someone he's
gameplay, and I
working for.
wholeheartedly
Maybe
think so.
his dad, we don't really know.
This looks photorealistic,
Also,
by the
I'm just
way,
gonna
especially
mention
the
this
close-up
once
on
now,
Brian's
but
face.
The ray tracing scene in this trailer is unbelievable, and
Yes.
there are countless examples of how good it is. The windows on Jason's car are rolled
This was
down
probably
and
the
set
best shot
to
of it
two
I've ever
different
seen.
lengths. The lady can be seen holding her dog, and on top of this, her car has paw prints on the hood, which, just like the cars we saw in Trailer 1, imply that there will be a lot more personalization for vehicles. Plus, her house in the background seems to have a modeled interior, which could be Rockstar's new interior AI patent, which allows for interiors to be generated instead of just flat images like we have in GTA 5. This is our first good look at Jason in this trailer, and
So they're
obviously
using
from
AI
Trailer
to
1, he has gone
do all
through
of these
a
things,
lot
especially
of
for
changes,
interiors with the
mostly
buildings.
hair and the scruffier
But I hope
beard.
most of them are
But my
enterable,
theory is
which
that this
I
is
have reason to
actually
believe they
later
will be.
in the story than when we first
What
saw
is this
him in
crystal thing?
Trailer
Is this
1.
the drugstore?
When busting open the register, the coins in the tray realistically slide with the movement
Oh,
of the
wow,
till.
that's
There's also
amazing.
a hookah that can be seen used in the store as well, and the phone number on the register starts with 305, which matches up with the area code for Miami.
Ooh,
You can see some
interesting.
workers trimming the grass on the side of the road for extra immersion, and one of the trucks has a hitch accessory, again adding to more
That just looks
vehicle
like handcuffs,
customization.
though.
The license plate on this truck
Oh,
looks
kinda.
very similar to one you'd find in Florida. However, the truck in front of us is very weird. We know from the screenshots that Rockstar released that this says Discover Gloriana as it's shown on other license plates, meaning that Georgia has also been added to the game.
I thought this was a
Also,
real-life
Peacock Bay
screenshot,
is a new
only to
named
realize it's the
location that we
GTA
had
map,
no prior
GTA
knowledge
6
about.
map.
This part at the beach looks insane. I mean, the sand has some insane detail. The girl walking by kicks up sand.
Yeah, I never
as she
saw that.
walks.
Both of them
also,
did,
the dude
honestly.
is wearing AirPods, or I guess in this game
Is that
they
Jason or
technically
that
call
just a random
fruit
guy?
pods, so maybe you can listen to music wherever and headphones might become a thing. The beer in the bottle simulates light exactly how it would in the real world. There's a cat cleaning itself
didn't see
on top
that.
of the ATM.
But I can imagine
And
the
overall,
fur
this
density
seems
for
to
the
be
cat
an average
would be
convenience
insane.
store like we would find in GTA 5, but obviously the detail has been taken to a whole new level. There's also a very funny ad for something called Vapomint, which means that there won't only be smoking, but also vaping will be making an appearance. In GTA 5, NPCs would normally just be killed by cops on the spot, but in this scene they are actually doing an arrest, which indicates more lively world events. Accurate contrails from the plane above, and here we finally learn the full name of our two protagonists, Lucia Caminos and Jason Duval. The cop can be seen moving certain objects around dynamically, and the sound of it moving is accurately distorted by the microphone the guard is using.
Oh wow,
Duval.
I never noticed that.
I think you heard before.
You might have.
Also, how long do you think it'll be before someone counts the amount of holes in this window? When getting out of prison,
I wouldn't put
Lucia
it past
is now
them.
wearing the
People
ankle monitor
online
that
have
we've seen
nothing to
in
do
the
with their
original
lives.
Promotional art released with trailer 1.
I didn't see that
which
either.
is more noticeable in this scene later. Also, Sexy Time Part 1.
Yes.
This line of her saying,
Hands above your head, now!
makes me 100%
It's like the opposite of
confident that this
cinema
actor is
sins,
Manny
because sins would be like
Alvarez,
issues with the
if there was
movie,
much
but
debate.
this is just like
the monitors
good
in the
things.
bank have gone into lockdown, presumably because of
That's
the robbery.
awesome.
Don't take this the wrong way, it's in the game, but the beer is called Pendejo, which is most likely the GTA version of Modelo. Ducks can be seen in the water now as well, which confirms them from the leaks, and also
So many different types of
quotes
wildlife.
seen in this
We already had
one
cats in
area
GTA
prove
5.
that the ocean
We
will
saw
have a
snakes,
ton of
because,
interesting events going on,
Jason
instead
and
of
Lucia
just
have a
on
pet
land
snake,
like most games before.
raccoons,
Here we can
iguanas.
clearly see the drug
So far, so
trafficking we
good.
talked about earlier, as
Crocs,
they're
there were no
loading
Crocs in
what is most
GTA
likely
5, but
drugs
they were in Red
into a
Dead
dodo
2.
plane. Once again, this is taking place at Brian's Boatwork and Marina, which indicates that it's the same Brian we met at the beginning of the trailer, and even Lucia can be shown to
Definitely,
community
100%.
service while wearing a Brian's
I have no doubt in my
company
mind
hat,
it's the same Brian,
which
and I know
means
it
he will
is.
play a big role in this game.
Yep.
Did you know that animals listen to dominating tactics
I can't
because
do
they're
the ads.
scared? If you
Jason and Lucia have
Yeah,
a
I
pet
was just
snake,
talking about
so
this.
whether or not we
That-
can have
that I
more
did
pets
see.
is still yet to be seen. This is the first time we meet Cal Hampton, Jason's friend and business associate. He could be the equivalent of GTA 5's Lester, as his description has him feeling safest at home while snooping on various radio comms. Okay, now, first of all,
Psychophysics.
goddamn.
Yes.
And second of all, this is
You
the
see for like a
same
split
dress
second,
that
but it's
Lucia
in
was
slow-mo, so it
wearing
might
in
not
the
register
car
as
scene
well.
during
And they
trailer
skipped it,
1,
nice.
which most likely makes
Yeah,
it a
it's the
part
same
of
dress, but
same sequence.
the newer one looks
This
sparkly.
nightclub that they're
Spark,
in is the
sparkly,
same
spark,
nightclub that was
sparkly.
being promoted by the plane in one
Sparkly,
of the
yeah, I
intro
said that
shots
right.
of trailer 1.
Sparkly, yeah.
Also, the NPC density is unlike
Sparkling,
anything we've
sparkly,
seen in
yeah,
a Rockstar
yeah.
game before. They are quite literally everywhere.
There's not as much like
People are
spark,
seen pressing
glitter,
Jason about
like
being
if it's
fat,
not going
which
for sparkling.
could
Oh, let
give
me
some
stop.
reasoning to the theory of Jason being a cop. And there could even be more evidence.
This
of
guy's
this
here, the guy
later
with the
in
afro in the
trailer.
back. Look at
When we
that.
see them trying to escape the apartment,
And Lucia,
is
when her
wearing
hair
the
passes in the
exact
light for a
same
second
outfit
there.
she was wearing when they robbed the gas station at the end of trailer 1, which means that this is
He's
most
probably
likely
late to
the
that
same
day.
apartment as the trust scene.
They got your name, address, they got everything.
Now, assuming they are
Or
talking
maybe
about
they
the
broke
cops
out in the
when
night,
Brian
and
says
what we
this
see in
as
the
they
first
show
trailer
up in
was
the
like
next
the
scene, this would then
early morning.
disprove the
I don't
Jason
know,
is a
maybe.
cop
We'll
theory
see.
somewhat, but there's still something more I have to bring up. There is a theory that this is Raul Bautista, who, for all intents and purposes, is our Michael from GTA 5.
That's exactly what I see him
robber.
as.
However, judging
GTA 6
from
is
the
Michael.
small amount of screenshots and info we have about him, it doesn't really look like the same person. So with that, I'm going to leave the debate to you guys. But in the scene where he says,
Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
in GTA 5, there was no scene where we heard Steve or Dave, for example, talking where the protagonist wasn't with them, which, following that standard, would mean that this could potentially be Jason standing off to the side. Here we get a first look at the drive-by mechanics and see that Jason is leaning his entire body out
can
of
see
the
the
car,
veins, too.
which is a mechanic
Beautiful.
that was confirmed in the leaks as well. We can see a working metro at the top of this
And
scene,
the pimples on
this
her
is
face.
also our first look at Bay Lux, who is a part of the Real
Real
Dimes
Dimes.
influencer group,
Definitely
Basically
based
a
on City
rapper and
Girls.
just a social media star. This shot takes place in Port Gellhorn, which is also where the final shot of the first trailer takes place. Jason can be seen tossing a dude into a car, which implies better combat, but there's also probably more
Yeah,
going
that
on
needs
here
to
since the
rework it
car
because
has
GTA 5's
exploded in
combat
the
was
background.
basic as hell.
Here we can also see Lucia's combat
And some
ability,
MMA
and
fighting.
undoubtely Lucia is
So
going to
I'm
be
guessing
a
we're going to
fighter.
be able
On
to
the
like
Rockstar
learn
website,
fighting
it
styles,
even
or
says
they're
that
just to have like a
Lucia's
mini
father
fight
taught
club
her
type
to
of thing,
fight as soon
which
as
I'm
she
really
could
looking
walk.
forward to.
In fact, on the website, it says that fighting for her family was what landed her in the Leonida penitentiary, and sheer luck got her out, which calls back to the beginning of trailer 1 when she says,
Bad luck, I guess.
Jason calls Lucia Lou, followed by "we got this," and then Lucia replying saying "we got it," implies once again, like trailer 1, that trust is going to be extremely important in this story. This explosion is worlds above anything I've seen in games before. Also notice how the lighter SUV is blown away from the explosion, while the riot van is only nudged by the shot,
weight.
which indicates very with cars. Lucia's hair can be seen blowing around from the explosion, and also the grenade launcher is appearing once again. We can see Draquan showing Jason a video on his phone, which may imply that we can take videos with our phone as well. Fighting in the wheel compartment of an airliner confirms that vehicles other than cars will have detailed interiors as well. And judging from how
Look
far
at
away
the
buildings
detail on
are,
the
we
wheel
aren't
hydraulics
nearly
for the
enough
plane.
these to
Look
be
at that.
clouds, which means that dense fog will be a new weather effect in GTA 6. Here we have a clear Fast and Furious 5 reference with a safe being dragged around by a car.
I didn't know about
And it's
that. I haven't
hard to
watched those
notice,
movies in a
but the
while,
oncoming
and I haven't
car
seen all of
stopped
them
in
either.
anticipation for the reckless driving of the pickup. We got Sexy Time Part 3.
Yes.
And here, we aren't sure who this is yet, but taking a video
I love his
with
hair physics,
phone
though.
hopefully proves what I thought from the earlier scene. This is Vice City Boulevard, which we saw in trailer 1, but this time from a different angle. You can see a ton of new cars, and again, more crazy customization with the rims on the Benefactor. And as a nice touch, the Bravado Banshee is once again making a return. Needless to say, the night scene is going to be insane in this game. Now this is a cool fact. The president on the bills thrown around in the club have the presidents from
Yeah, this is gonna make GTA 5
on
strip
them.
club look like
Now, it's
nothing.
hard to miss, but obviously there's a PS5 controller on the table and what looks like a PS5, which
That's
is
a PS4 controller,
hilarious
bro.
product placement from Sony since they have the marketing rights to GTA 6.
Hey, you! Yes, you.
I don't
Do you
care.
usually buy your video games directly
I
from
buy them on
Steam
Steam,
or
yes.
Origin? Do you pay the
Don't care.
Ammunition is making a return, except now it's
Phil
called
Cassidy.
Phil's Ammunition, and there will probably be different names for each store. This is most likely Jason and Lucia's safe house that takes place in the Gator Keys, as you can see the bridge in the background. And the level of detail of this game is immense. I mean, you can see the foam level on the beer. And not only that, but the beer can be seen
Look at the
bubbling
flip-flops in the
inside
background.
of the bottle. The operating light on the controller behind the beer bottle is being distorted by the liquid in the beer. The couch cushions compress as Lucia's weight is added to them, and also the tiles by the door are now pulled up, which wasn't present when Jason walked into the house at the beginning of the trailer, which implies that this takes place later in the story. The buzzer
I don't know what he means
attack
by pulled up,
chopper
though.
is
I don't really
making
see any
return,
difference.
but this time
I don't
it
know.
has unique weapons on the side, and it looks like Brian is manning one of the guns. In fact, this scene
We're
and
used
even
to
the
that
next look
in
very
GTA.
similar to ones we saw in trailer 1. You have the airboat going through the Everglades, and in the next scene, it looks like the Dad Bod Squad from trailer 1. Also, just to the right of the boat, you can see the extremely tall tower that we saw in the first frame of trailer 1. This scene could be in-game footage, as the light just isn't quite as strong as some other scenes in the trailer. But another small note is that Jason ducks his head very slightly as the plane passes overhead. Here we can see what looks like an in-game version of the Corvette C8 that drives by Jason, and I'm only assuming it's Jason because the same bike he jumps off of is the one he was driving.
That kind
in
of
the
looks like a
previous
female
shot.
figure from what I
Every
can
building
see.
in this shot has what appears to
So
be
I don't know if he's right
interiors,
there.
but again,
This
this
is what
could
I
just
really
be
care
the
about.
interior AI. However, it is
there's
important
that
to
as
note
well.
that the Megamundo building seems to have way more detail on the interiors compared to the building beside it, meaning this is most likely an enterable building. Sexy time part.
That's what I like to hear.
But also, this room looks identical to the room that they were in during trailer 1 when they were talking about trust. Shooting from inside the boat isn't new from GTA 5. However, the detail of the bullets hitting the helicopter is a lot more realistic. Bullet impacts now create an atmospheric effect when hitting the road. You can see an NPC about to hop onto the window of the car to fire a rifle, which means that that mechanic isn't limited to just us players. And as well, Mariana County, Visedale County, and Draper Island are again all new named locations we didn't know about yet. Jason can be seen jumping from vehicle to vehicle, which is basically just an upgraded version of what we had in RDR2.
With the horses, yeah.
Cow can also be
Jump
seen
to
wearing
horse.
a Brian's Marina shirt, which implies all the characters are connected. Also, there is a boat being worked on in the background, which implies boat customization as well. Jason's muscle car makes another appearance like it did in trailer 1, however this time one of the doors is a different color. Now obviously there is a ton of other new info we learned from all of the screenshots and info that Rockstar posted on their website today,
Which I went
which I
over.
left a link in the description if you want to look at it, so I'll be releasing another video soon compiling all of that info as well. But either way, I hope you all enjoyed.
I probably should
Make
have
sure
did a reaction
subscribe,
to a
and I'll see
video
y'all in the next
reviewing
one.
that, but oh well,
Peace.
it's already done. So that was it, guys. That was my reaction to 100 hidden details in GTA 6 Trailer 2. Hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that good stuff. Follow my socials, my TikTok, Instagram, and Discord. They'll be in the description. There was another video I saw on my sidebar somewhere here. Oh, it's about Georgiana. So it should be like a secondary state in GTA 6. Obviously, they're not going to make a whole second state in the game. We're sticking with Leonida, Florida, basically. But there's some references on the license plates. I'm going to look at that video next. Hope y'all enjoyed. Goodbye.